This video is about how to set up an AA4SN reed switch bug. The components are a damper right here, magnetic dit tension right here. That controls the amount of forces required to make the dits. The pendulum centering adjustment is right here. This will be the first adjustment you make. The spring dash tension, that's going to be right here. It's just a spring. If you tighten it, it creates more tension on these dashes. The reed switch tube is right here. This can adjust in and out, vary the sound. The slow speed slug attachments behind the block, and you're going to see that here real quick. And then you have the dit spacing, which is right here. So, as we said, the very first one you're going to want to adjust is the pendulum centering adjustment after you remove these blocks. So here we go. Cut the blocks with a pair of scissors. Get them out of the way. So your first adjustment will be to center the pendulum. And it'll be with this one right here. You'll notice that you can move it and then find where the center is, and then go ahead and tighten it right there. The second adjustment I would make is the damper. So this is pretty loose. Just get it so it contacts the rubber O-ring on the pendulum. You'll probably have to come back onto that. So now we've got it centered. We have the damper in place. So, here's the QRS slug. If you really want to send slow, that's what this is for. You stick it right on the end and away you go. So now we'll go to the dash spacing. So as you press here, you can see you can adjust your spacing. All of these spacings are just a few thousandths because it's supposed to send like a paddle. You can hear it's barely any movement. So open that up a little bit. That's enough right there. Then you'll want to, you'll want to set your dit spacing. That's this one right here. So right here you can see there's just way too much movement. So you want to bring this in quite a bit. Just a few thousandths is all you need. And you can see right there you got it. So you tighten this one. Let's go ahead and hook it up, and we'll fine tune it. Okay. Alrighty. Get this hooked up. Okay, we've got those hooked up now. So, there's your dashes right there. Pretty good tension on it. You don't want much spring tension on this all, just a light touch. Now the dit spacing, we know it's right here. Okay, you're getting nothing there, right? So you'll want to move this reed switch in a bit. There we go. Okay, let's slow this down a bit. Now, one thing about this, if you bring it out quite a ways, it doesn't take much movement at all. If you move this out a little bit, you'll get very short duty cycle on the dits. You see? If you move it in, you'll get longer dits. So you gotta hit a happy medium here. Okay, we got the basics set. So there's another adjustment right here. You want this snug, but you don't want it tight. This knurled nut. So bring it down, it'll make a contact. There's a rubber O-ring under here that compresses. So just snug. That way You see there's still play in that, a little more snugger, and that stiffens it up. But you can still send. So it didn't take long. We've got it set up fairly well. Here's the QRS slug. If you really need to slow down, you can do it. But normally it's going to stay right in this hole unless you really need it. Of course, if you want to bring the speed way up, that's quite fast. So get it down where you're comfortable. So once again, you've got your damper, you've got your magnetic dit tension. That's this one right here. I really didn't cover that too much. So the closer this is to the magnet, the more force it's going to take to make the dits. And you'll feel it. Once you bring this in, it's taking a lot of force for me. You'll just have to take my word for it right now. So if I loosen this, find a spot that's very light. And you got it. So there's the damper, the magnetic dit tension right here. The pendulum centering adjustment, that's the first one you're going to do. That's number one. Everything else depends on that. Then you've got your spring dash tension right here. Then you've got your reed switch tube. And now you know the closer or farther away from this magnet on the end varies the spacing of the duty cycle of the dits. You've got the slow speed slug attachment right there. If you really want to send slow, you might have to. You can slide that onto the end. The dit spacing, we know it's right here. You create a spacing right at just a few thousandths, maybe 5 thousandths, because you want a real light touch. So that's the dit spacing here. The dash spacing was over on this side, determined by the spring. And that's the dash spacing. So when you get this, there'll be a picture of the key, and it'll go from A to H, and everything will be labeled. That's the basic setup. You can see how quickly that is to set it up. Start with your pendulum centering adjustment right here, and then work everything else. Tighten this down so it's snug, so there's no play in this arm. And we pretty much have it. Okay, 73. Thanks for watching. Bye.